you can do that.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
so welcome tonight, you guys. I'm super excited to have you here. I am so blessed by Darcy. I just, I love it when my friends allow me to come and share because this is such a huge passion in my heart. I have been using Plexus for 2.5 years. My story is, it's a kind of a long story, but I'm going to share it here after Shara. Shara is a friend of mine that her testimony is one of the testimonies that as a nurse, I was dumbfounded by the power of what the Plexus products actually were able to do from a medical standpoint. And so I'm going to have her, I actually asked her to come on and share tonight, just her story. And so Shara, I'm going to let you do that real quick so then you can get back to your night. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Of course. Walk away. Sorry, my daughter. Okay. No problem. I don't care at all to get on here and share my story. So, like Julia said, my name is Shara. I have been with Plexus for 4 years. I had been praying for relief from ulcerative colitis and possibly starts of Crohn's. And but what I didn't know, I'm gonna step away just a second. My husband is coming up on the tractor and you might not be able to hear me. Country life. Gotta love it. So, okay. So I got asked if I would come on and do this energy challenge. And at the time I was like, heck yeah, I'm all for energy. I was looking for energy too. I'm a mom of 4. At the time, I was a full-time college student going for my bachelor's degree. I also worked full-time as a quality engineer, and I was coaching high school cheerleading. So I had a busy life and was exhausted. So when I was asked, hey, will you jump on this energy challenge? I was all for it. I had no idea what Plexus was. I jumped in on the challenge, did the challenge, and while I was doing the challenge, I learned that Plexus was a gut health company, which at the beginning, I told you I was praying for relief, right? So God answers our prayers. Sorry, I have been running, trying to catch my breath. God answers our prayers way differently than we expect. You know, we expect him to fix stuff real quick. Instead, he dropped Plexus in my lap. I found out, that they were a gut health company, and with ulcerative colitis and possibly starts of Crohn's, that is your gut. So I had ulcers in the top of my colon, and I had ulcers in the bottom of my colon. I would get mouth sores constantly, which is a sign of Crohn's. And I would actually break out in hives because my inflammation was so high. Funny story to that, I'll try not to take too much time, but a funny story to that is if I didn't take an antihistamine before I went to cheer practice, my cheerleaders could actually tell because I would start breaking out if anybody touched me. That's how inflamed I was. So they thought it would be funny to come write their name in my arm and watch me break out in hives. So fast forward to now, that doesn't happen. But so I switched over to our triplex, which is our most common combo, which is our Slim, which is our pink drink that everybody talks about, our BioCleanse, and our probiotic. I switched over to those 3, and in that energy challenge, I started taking Active, which is our natural energy, and Ease, which is our natural inflammatory. So I continued with those products along with the triplex, and I did add in our X Factor Plus a little later, which is our multivitamin. It has aloe in it, and it helps with absorption of those minerals and stuff that you need. And when you have so much inflammation, you need all the absorption you can get. So I was on these products. I took them consistently. I did everything I was supposed to do. I drank my water. 3 months in, my stomach started hurting again. Just like most, I was skeptical. And when my stomach started hurting again, I decided these products were not working. I contacted a few of my friends and my sponsors that were in Plexus and told them, hey, you know, I'm not paying for this. It's not working. I'm done. Well, they talked me off the ledge and asked me to continue to taking it, to trust them and continue to take it. So I did, but I also called my GI doctor and made an appointment. So I went into my GI doctor and they did an ultrasound of my stomach. 3 days later, they called and told me my results. And that was my colon was clear, except for one small spot. One small spot was inflamed. I did not need medication for it, which was amazing. She said, so whatever you're doing with this Plexus products, continue to do it. Continue to take these products because it's working. Because I stopped all other medications because I don't like medications. I don't want anything to do with them. They have horrible side effects. So the only thing I was on was the triplex and those other products. So I did ask her, so why did my stomach hurt? I had kidney stones. That's why my stomach hurt. I very prone to getting kidney stones. And so, but that was not where my mind went because our minds automatically go to the new thing, the products, right? Products were not working. I am standing here after 4 years of starting those products, and I have not had another flare up. I am in remission. I have not had hives. I have not had mouth sores. Hallelujah. And I am outside right now. And like I said, I was just running. I would have not been able to do that 4 years ago. I walked bent over in so much pain from my stomach. So I am so grateful that God dropped this in my lap. Real quick, I'm trying to make this quick. While I prayed for relief, I also prayed for friends because just like all moms, well, most moms, I guess you could say, you don't really have friends. Like I go to work, do all my other jobs, come home to my kids, which I absolutely love. But my husband gets to go fishing with his friends. He gets to go have nights out, which is great. He needs that, and I'm happy for him, but I'm kind of jealous. So I was praying, you know, I want some friends, but I don't want just any kind of friends. I want Christian friends. I want friends I can talk to. I want people who love me and encourage me. And again, it's funny how God answers your prayers because he answered both my prayers with this company, and I wouldn't want to do it any other way. I've got to travel. I've got to meet new people. I have more energy. I'm outside. It's amazing. And I'm so happy, Julia, that my story touched you and I got to meet you that Super Saturday because you have been a blessing to me. And it's been so nice to get to know you. And if anybody has any questions about anything I'm doing, or I am open book, I will not shy away. You can send me a message or get with whoever invited you, and they can get with me.
Awesome. I love you so much. Thank you. You're such a blessing to me. You're amazing. Thank you, Shara. I'm telling you guys, her story and a couple of the others when I went to, um, Darcy, I'm gonna go ahead and share mine, and then I'm gonna have you kind of chime in towards the end because I'm gonna ask you about some of the stuff that you're taking. But
That's totally fine.
when I started, I have been a nurse for 24 years this year. Gosh, it doesn't seem like that seems like way too long, but I have. And I was working as a nurse. I was always a bedside nurse. I worked at our hospital here in Wichita, up at Wesley for the last 23 years of it, 23 and a half. And I was coming off of COVID. I was working a lot of hours, nights. I was tired. And I was drinking a lot of energy drinks. Like I didn't drink Monster very often, but Joel would have it periodically. So I'd sip on that. I drank a lot of like the flavor pack add-ins that don't seem real harmful, but are. And then like the VA energy drinks, which have sucralose in them. I was drinking a lot of those to stay awake at night, or to kind of perk up during the day when I was home. And it was really tearing up my stomach. And so Cassie, my friend, had actually talked to me about these products for a long time, knew that I loved health and nutrition and just really put it out there to me multiple times, but I don't think I was ready for it, honestly. I don't think I was ready to listen. I thought I was doing all the right things. I was a fairly healthy person. Like everybody who knew me thought I was a healthy person. And I was, but there was a lot of things inside that they didn't know about. Like I would have headaches. I would have headaches a lot. And after I had my middle daughter, they started turning into more migraines periodically instead of just headaches. I had a lot of hormone stuff going on. I was in perimenopause. And so I had all of that stuff, hot flashes, night sweats, all the things. There was a lot of stuff. I had really bad heartburn. And that was really what triggered me to ask her about the energy drink because the heartburn was so bad, my medication wasn't helping. And I was starting to wake up in the middle of the night feeling like I was burping up fire, which, if you know heartburn, you know that feeling. And it's terrible. And so I had talked to my husband and I was like, if we're going to drink energy drinks, we might as well try to invest in something that's actually beneficial to us instead of potentially harming us. Because I could tell as time would go on, the more I would drink those drinks, the more heartburn I would have. So I knew kind of the source of what was causing them. So when I reached out to Cassie, I asked her if I could sample some stuff first, and I sampled 3 days worth of the products. And I could feel a huge difference with just in 3 days. And my brain was just like, oh my gosh, if these products are this good in 3 days, like I would really be interested to see how it looked for a month, to try a month. Because honestly, budget was a huge thing for us. My kids go to a private school, so most of our money goes to that. And trying to add, money every month for supplements to me was a big ask. And so I had the conversation with Joel. I'm like, can we just try a month? And then I talked to Cassie and I said, if I try this for a month, I will need to use the referral program if I want to stick with it because I have to be able to have my products paid for so that I don't have to add that to my family's budget. And I think that was, to me, the idea that they had such a great referral program once I started asking about it was such a huge blessing to me because most of the time, like we can refer people to places to go, if you go to like say Kohl's gives you like not referral cash, but they give you cash for spending money there, kind of like that. But this company is super generous. You can refer people and get about $20 to $30 back each person you refer. If you decide to do it as a business side of it, you get bonuses on top of that. So when I started sharing, because I needed to pay for my own products, I was able to pay for my own products plus my husband's products in that second month because of the referrals. So that was a huge blessing. But what I loved the most is when I went to that meeting in January, the testimonies that I heard about gut health sent me into a deep dive into why gut health was so important. Because I had heard chatter about gut health, but as a medical profession, like you don't hear about that kind of stuff. In medicine, you hear about medications, the medications that help address the symptoms, all of that stuff. But in the sense of what gut health actually does, like I started digging into it because I was seeing people like with ulcerative colitis, like with people with Shara coming off of medication that in medicine, we would never be able to take people off of their medications. Like that's not something we would ever see. I met somebody who had hypothyroidism that was able to come off of her thyroid medicine. Like that is again something you never see in medicine. We don't see disease turn around. We just we do a good job of bandaging it. We bandage the symptoms. And so I started digging in and things that I have learned with gut health. Gut health is it's 90% of your hormone. 90% of your hormones are balanced in your gut. 70% of your immune system is created in your gut. And your gut attributes to almost every aspect of your health. It contributes to heart issues or heart benefit. It contributes to neurological issues or neurological benefit. There is so many different things. I will tell you, my sister started these products last year, and within 6 months, my sister is not the healthiest person. She is morbidly obese, and just really struggles with weight. So she's always had issues with like her triglycerides, her cholesterol. She had fatty liver for a while, and that's actually why she called me and got started. And within 6 months, all of her labs were normal, and except for her triglycerides that, or not her triglycerides, her cholesterol that has to be good by exercise. That one's not normal. That one we're working on. But aside from that, all of the other ones were completely normal. And so just over the last year and a half, one of my biggest things is I have taken supplements for years, taken supplements for years. I've taken probiotics for years. Never have I ever come off of medication because of the probiotics I was taking. But I think the real big difference between the products with Plexus versus some of the other products that I've seen specifically with gut health is the way that they're created. They have a board of experts that consist of holistic doctors, herbalists, physicians, scientists, and nutritionalists. And they all work together. Like, I don't know about you, but to me, like, that's the perfect healthcare system right there. Like, why can't we all work together like that? Because if we did, we could move mountains in healthcare. But unfortunately, we don't. And so when I started digging in and seeing that each supplement has multiple things in it, and the reason it does is because that's what this board has found, that all of those supplements together come together to help your body absorb and utilize that product to the best of its ability. Okay. So, like in your probiotic, you got your probiotics, but you also have a few little blends of things also added to that. And it is completely plant based. The only thing that is not plant based is the capsules are actually bovine, but there's no chemicals in these products, which is another blessing to me. I've been learning, and I know, Darcy, you and I kind of have gone over some of that, of how much crap is in our food and how much crap is actually in a lot of supplements that I did not realize. The supplements I was taking before I started Plexus, oh my gosh, the cellulose, all the different things that are added to them that keep them fresh. I'm just like, oh man, there's so much junk that's added to our food if we're not careful. So the fact that this company actually goes through a really thorough process of making sure their products are clean, was a real big blessing to me. Um, the triplex, which is what Shara talked about, that is our foundational gut health system that we have. That is what I start every single person on if they have health, if they want to address health struggles, or if they're wanting to keep healthy. The triplex system is the number one regimen that I put everybody on, because that is the one that basically changes people's lives. That's where we get into the nitty gritty of your system. We pour goodness on, and then we pull off all of the bad stuff. So the probiotic obviously is the good bacteria that you're putting into there. The difference between our probiotic and the probiotics you'll find in the stores is that our probiotic has enzymes added to it, and one of the enzymes is called chitinase. And chitinase is specifically formulated. It is the only enzyme that has been found to be able to break up candida yeast in your system. And I don't know how familiar you are with candida yeast, but candida yeast is actually, it's a natural forming thing in your body. The problem is, it feeds off of sugar, which is a lot of people's diets anymore, but then it also builds up and it forms as inflammation. And so then that starts to overgrow and the bad bacteria takes over the good bacteria. Well, in your body, candida yeast is technically supposed to come out when we die. It's what starts to break down our bodies whenever we die. And the majority of us have an overgrowth of candida yeast in our system. And so we have to have something that is strong enough to break through that barrier, because candida has like a hard shell. And so the chitinase attacks that and through that hard shell. And then the BioCleanse is what we take to actually help to pull out the toxins and inflammation and everything that's kind of sitting in our system. And then the ProBio 5, not the ProBio 5, the Slim drink. I don't know about you, but when I first started, I thought the Slim was a pink drink. I thought it was a fad. Thought it was like a diet drink, and I was not a fan of that. I have never been a fan of quick fixes or diets that include things that are unrealistic, right? Like, so that was like a big deal to me. But when I found out it was actually prebiotics, I was like, Oh, how funny. I never realized that. No, it was I was very happy to know that it wasn't some fad drink. It was actually prebiotics. And the reason it works so well is because it's feeding that good bacteria in your system. And so once your good bacteria starts to grow and your bad bacteria, we start to get that out, people start to see disease reverse. They start to see symptoms go away. They start to feel better and start to feel a change. So on that note, Darcy, do you mind sharing kind of what you've experienced just over the what 3 weeks that you've been taking it now?
Yeah, so I looked that up and I actually started May 24th was when I took my first stuff. So it really hasn't been that long at all.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
well, anyways, that's the day I took my pictures. So, um, and I am kind of like you. I
Mhm.
felt like everything going on with my body, I just went and I was like, well, I'm 43 now. My hormones are messed up. And this is just how life has got to be. I can't run anymore because I have arthritis now. And I can't do this because I hurt so bad. And I can't sleep right because I have to sleep with a pillow right here. Otherwise, I'm going to wake up and just be all out of whack. And my joints are crazy. Um, I started having skin problems where I was dealing with rosacea on my face. Well, I have never in my 43 years of life have had an acne problem ever. So that's what told me that.
I went to high school with her. She never had an acne problem. I was jealous.
So but in my mind, I just attributed everything to my hormones. I'm 43. It's just how things are right now. Well, I became very desperate. I mean, I would get out of the shower and I would just cry because my face looked horrible. My face was so red. And it wasn't even like it was acne. It was just like flare up little,
Yeah.
um,
The red patchiness.
yes. And it was just horrible. And I hit bottom. I hit rock bottom where then I was like, okay, something has got to be going on with me. And I knew because I'm also very conscious of what I take. I don't want to go to a doctor. I don't want them to prescribe me a pill. I don't want any more problems. I want to fix the root problem. And
Yeah.
I know I've heard so much from Julia and I've seen so many of her videos and I know we think very much alike. So I reached out to her about it and I started the triplex. My face, I wish I didn't have makeup on right now and I could show you exactly. Um, but it's like 50 or 60% better. I cannot even believe how quick I could tell a difference in it.
I love
And
that.
not just me. Like people have said it to me. My mom said it to me the other day. My fiance, he's just like, he goes, I just looked at you earlier and I was just like, wow, her face looks great. Like
Oh,
it's so crazy to me. Not to mention, it is what is it, almost 8:30 or whatever.
yeah.
Normally, like I don't have the energy right now. Like I'm done for the day. I work two jobs and they're very um exhausting
Yeah.
mentally and physically. So by 9 o'clock, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty wide awake right at the moment. So I mean, it's just my mood, my face. And okay, so I will have to say this one thing. So I thought, okay, the cleanse, like I better be close to a bathroom. So not the case. So not the case at all.
Yeah.
Um, right now I'm taking 3 pills and I have yet, and trust me, I've taken my fair share of laxatives because I have never been regular in my life. Never. I still have not had to run to the bathroom. I
Yeah.
still have not experienced anything like that. And that's what I was kind of afraid of is that people were going to go, or I did it and go, oh yeah, that's how I lost weight. You just
Yeah.
poop for days, and that it's not the case. It's not the case. So it's just crazy to me. And I'm so in love with this.
I love it. Oh, it just makes my heart. This is why I love this because in my 24 years of working up at the, or 23 years of working up at the hospital, I have never been able to walk alongside people and help them get better. Like they
Right.
typically will go home on medication. And when I say that, I mean like with diseases. Like
Right.
obviously, if it's an acute care setting, yes, they got better in that sort of sense. But in the sense of actually healing and getting better from things that they've struggled with for years, never once have I ever been able to have that gift. And I have had such, it has been such a blessing and so rewarding to be able to not only have my friends experience that, but like complete strangers that connect with me and they're like, I hear you help people with their gut health. Can you help me? And be able to literally walk alongside them. I mean, I am a pretty hands-on person. So Darcy can tell you, if you have issues, I am on it and I am talking to you every week to make sure things are going well. And it's because I care, because I know that the success of these products also depend on my ability to walk you through the hard parts, which a lot of times is detox. But I'm so glad, Darcy, that you said that about the BioCleanse, because that sucker gets a hard rap for its name, but
Yeah.
people realize that it's like a softer cleanse. It's more of it's pulling toxins out, but it's not like flushing your system. But
Right.
it is a very powerful tool. And I promise you, we will get you regular and it will be something that you will never, ever want to not have in your back pocket because that has been me in my life. I had
Well,
1 week on vacation that I ran out on vacation and I was so sad. It was terrible. Within a couple days, I could tell a huge difference.
oh man. Well, and that is one thing on this journey that I'm hopeful for because um I don't know if you know or not, but my sister was diagnosed with colon cancer last year. And so I have to go in and have a colonoscopy done. And that is one thing that her doctor said because she has never been regular. And he said, well, you need to correct that because that's what the cancer builds up in her. And that's what he was telling her, anyways. He goes, that bad bacteria is staying and living in there and it's just growing. You
Yeah.
have to get it regular. So ever since that's kind of started another journey for me on trying to correct that problem.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love for April to look at the products because honestly, I've had many people who have cancer, not not necessarily colon cancer, but other cancers that have taken these products and their doctors have actually encouraged them to keep taking them because it keeps their levels up if they're having to go through chemo. Like it does a lot of good for them. And specifically with colon cancer, I mean, you're addressing the root cause right there.
Yeah.
So that's great. I'm super proud of you. And I love hearing you just your journey because it's not even your testimony because you're not even like you're just continuing to build. You're just starting. And I
I'm
just
just
love
a baby. I'm just
I
a baby in it.
I love it. That's exactly right. Well, I will say triplex is one of the main systems. Obviously, you talked about our active. Active is a powerful energy drink that I consider that my quote unquote gateway drug when I started because that's what got me in the door. What got Shara in the door. Like, I mean, active is powerful, but it's completely natural energy. I had a gal started a couple weeks ago that typically caffeine makes her throw up and she's been able to drink it with no problem because it's green coffee bean. It's not artificial caffeine. And so it doesn't mess with her heart. It doesn't mess with her stomach. And she's able to take it and actually have some energy to her day. And so I just love that. There are so many different good products that they're all attributed to the gut. I could spend so much time going over all of them, but I don't want to do that necessarily tonight. What I do want to say is the referral program is definitely a blessing. I don't know, Darcy, you and I haven't really talked too much about that, but the referral
No.
program, even just sharing and getting people feeling better, if it's not something you want to do as a business, if this, I mean, I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I stepped away from the bedside last fall to do this full time because this is just brings so much joy to me, and to be able to bless people with good health for the rest of their life has been life changing for me aside from them. But not everybody wants to do it as a business, but you can still share it and have people to be able to bless in their health with it, which is what I love. Because when we find something that's so impactful, in my personal opinion, we shouldn't keep it to ourselves. That's what, that's what we should all do. And so that can be a huge blessing, but it is definitely one of the biggest things to be able to give the gift of people just feeling better in general. And gut health has been so incredibly powerful to our family. If I could share this every day and be on here and hear people experience their testimonies with it, like that just gets my soul flowing. So in that, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. And I hope this has been super impactful for you. I would love if you have questions, because all of my people, you're going to see this is going to be not as quiet here in just a minute because everybody's starting to enter my car. Games are over. But if you have questions, like Jennifer, for you, if you have questions and want to dig in more and just kind of see if you have specific things you want to know what products would kind of go towards that. Darcy, if you'll just connect me in like a 3-way on Messenger or something like that, or even in a text, I can help answer questions or we can get back on. The other thing I always tell you is if you have people reach out to you that you can share this with afterwards, 100% do that. And then you can just connect them with me and I can help answer questions on top of that. But okay. Gosh, there was one other thing I was going to say. And now I'm getting all distracted. So I can't think of what it is, but I appreciate your time. And that's what it was. For tonight, for the next 24 hours. So Darcy, if you have any other people that couldn't make it tonight and you want to share this with them for the next 24 hours, I'm doing a $20 coupon off of anybody that orders. So that's a pretty big blessing, but it's just my way of saying thank you to Darcy and a way of paying it forward to her friends. And it's just how much I believe that I know these products could be very impactful for anybody who takes them. So if that's something that you want to chat about, hit up Darcy afterwards and we'll make sure and get you all connected and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Good.
Time tonight. I look forward to talking with you all again.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I'll talk
Have a
to you
good
soon.
night.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.